3 at a time, and then this weekend we have the 4 at a time. So really cool video there. We're looking outside right now at a pretty blue sky with kind of sun and clouds mixed sort of setup. We do expect near average heat this week, and I said not awful humidity. It's still humid out there. It is August in South Louisiana, but our humidity at times can be much higher than it actually is right now. We do expect a few daily storms around, especially closer to the coast, but elsewhere also some hit or miss storms possible. And the tropics are getting more active, but we have no threats here. And we will continue to track, of course, through the month of August as typically activity does increase. But for now, we'll go with no threats here. Temperatures right now, upper 80s to about 90 degrees. And the feels like temperature only in the 90s. It's so easy at this point in the day to have our feels like temperature already 105, even 110. But it's just not quite there. So it doesn't feel quite as humid and muggy as it could. Our temperature at 89 and our feels like again 96. And that's because our dew point temperatures have gone down a little bit, enough to make a difference with that humidity dropping just slightly. And then our winds have been from the north, so they're not pumping in that moisture from the Gulf, from the south. Instead, they're coming in from the north. And look at this. I was watching yesterday, Slidell's dew point at 69, Baton Rouge 68. That is not extremely humid air. 70s are humid, but again, in the summertime, it could be as high as about 80. So when you're talking about a dew point, that's just one of the ways we talk about humidity. We measure humidity. When you're in the 60s, it's somewhat humid, but a big break in the summertime can sometimes feel nice with dew points in the 60s. If you're in the lower 70s, again, that's not the worst that you can see. Radar is showing a bit of shower action, just a few spotty showers right now. If you're heading out around New Orleans and the metro area at lunch, most of the city is fine, much of Jefferson Parish too, but we do have this big downpour roughly around Luling and Boutte. Jean Lafitte getting a little bit of rain, and some over toward Cutoff, not far from Galliano, and not as much north of Lake Pontchartrain or in our Mississippi counties right now. We did have over the weekend that front press through and settle near our coast. It has stalled there, but this is part of the reason we're seeing these very subtle changes with our weather, although it's pretty typical for the month of August, which we are now several days into. But again, not as bad as it could be with either a ton of rain around, with flooding threats, or with really excessive heat and humidity. Very average kind of forecast today, highs 92. That's the average for this point in August. Tonight we'll be looking at lows north of the lake, about 73, South Shore about 79. And again, some spots with that lower humidity, and if you see those temperatures, lower 70s, could feel pretty nice in some locations. Precision cast for today. This is by 3 p.m. Some spotty rain around. We do have that front near us. We have enough moisture in the atmosphere, certainly to fuel some showers and storms, but just not an extremely high chance through this week. 8 p.m. maybe a few showers still wrapping up. Tomorrow, Tuesday, quiet for the morning. Afternoon, we start to see some showers and storms get going. I have a slightly higher rain chance tomorrow, about 40%, very regular for this time of year. Tropical storm Dexter is here out over the northern part of the central Atlantic, off to the northwest of Bermuda, is expected maybe to strengthen just a touch, but overall is moving really fast. So this will be getting into cooler water soon, and eventually will be speeding up and getting out farther over the northern Atlantic. We have the two other spots. One, just a big broad low off the southeast coast of the U.S. that could maybe bring some rain eventually later this week, more so to parts of the east coast or southeast coast of the U.S. And a wave coming off of Africa with about a 50% chance, not very high at the moment, chance for development. But once it moves out over the slightly better conditions in the central part of the Atlantic, you can see our atmospheric rotation showing some of that getting a little bit tighter. This would be a good thing if it could just move off to the north and stay out at sea as opposed to moving farther to the west. So we'll keep our eye on it, but doesn't look like a threat at this point. Of course, we're nearing that big jump in tropical activity that we typically see at the end of August and the start of September. So we'll be talking more about the tropics, I'm sure, in the next several days, but no threats here. Very average August forecast with a few spotty storms and lower 90s for highs the next several days.